Success. We did it. We did it. We did it.
We did.
Hey, everybody. It's Steve Krass, Grill Department Manager over at Wanamakers, and I am It's All About the Barbecue. And this is Thursday Night Barbecue Chat, and it is another Thursday night. And as you can see, sitting next to me is not the chairman of the board. It is Michelle O'Gwyn with Ain't It the Life Barbecue.
Hey.
So she's filling in as co-host again. It's always good to have you on, Michelle. It's always
I did think about getting a fake beard to wear to make you feel more comfortable, but I'm going to wait one more month or the next time you have me on when it's colder to keep my face warm.
Yeah, you'll have to get one of those. But see, for Ryan, you'll have to get one of those.
Yeah, it's going to be a long one. I might even
like
put Christmas and fall ornaments in it.
Yeah. So before we get to our guests, I just want to do a couple of little things. This Saturday, obviously Ryan's not here, and he'd actually be laughing at me if I actually brought this up. But this Saturday, I will be at the Griddle Battle over there at the Yorkville American Legion over here in the Chicago area. That is Ryan's competition. And I know he's excited. He's probably falling over right now that I actually talked about it and that I was the first one to mention it. But I will be there. So if you guys want to come out and have a good time, I invite everybody to come out to the American Legion out there in Yorkville. So I think it starts at 8 o'clock and judging starts at 9. And as I said, we'll see what happens because my reunion is tomorrow. So I don't know what kind of condition I'll be in.
Is there a brunch category or something?
I don't know. He's got a lot of categories in there. I don't know them all. So Ryan, if you can pop in and you want to say something, you can, but we hope we don't. But
we'll get about category crazy about the Arlington contest later in the event after we talk to our guest.
Yeah. So we got a guest on, a good friend, and known him for a long time. He's been around in a couple different places that he stopped at, and he is. I almost sometimes like to call him the charcoal guru because he seems to know like everything about charcoal. I mean, he's always around charcoal, but he went out and started a Texas Original Charcoal, as you can see up there in the corner. And Michelle, let's bring him on. It's our good friend Joey Machado from Texas Original Charcoal. Joey, how are you?
We're doing well. How's everybody doing? And how's everybody doing outside of Texas? Because down here in Texas, we're doing great.
Well, in Tennessee, we're just a little damp. Because nobody likes the moist water. I don't know. We're doing good. You know, we're all this southern hemisphere of barbecue cooking. I think September and October are the biggest months for everything. So everybody's about to be completely slammed with everything, including myself. I'm excited to see where things are going. And excited, actually, I'll tell you more about things that we talked about, your fryer tables and your charcoal and stuff going forward about World Food and all that kind of things. But see what's going on in Chicago.
Yep.
Well, here in Chicago, it's always great in Chicago. It's actually we just had a little cool spell, and then we warmed up a little bit, I think, for the weekend. But then I think it's going to go back to our nice fall weather where we get into just the low 80s, 60s at night. So that's kind of like after a summer, that's kind of what you look forward to, and knowing that probably in a month or two you could be, it could be 30 degrees or less. So
Joey doesn't know what that is.
It's what we've been in Chicago in the dead of winter. We've been blessed to be all over the place. We've gone to events from coast to coast, and one of the nicest things is, like I said, for me, I'm Central Texas. I'm 30 minutes from Austin. I'm 30 minutes from San Antonio. Basically, we're kind of in the heart of Texas, what I like to call. And we're always blessed with, just pretty decent weather, and we went through some rainy spells and, that type of deal. But most of the time that was happening, we weren't even here. We were doing some traveling. But now it's kind of most of our Texas cooks who kind of stay in Texas are just kind of getting back out there again, because now we have everything's kind of opened up again. Everybody's getting ready. They've already had the jack draw. Everybody's trying to find money to figure out where they're going this year. And we're kind of doing the same thing. A couple of years ago, I've been very blessed because I've worked with a lot of great companies throughout the years. As most of you know, I started out as just a regular Texas barbecue comp guy. And, fell in love with the brand, which was B&B Charcoal at the time. And at that time, I convinced them to bring me on as a marketing guy to expand the brand. And then y'all all kind of know what happened with that. We just, we blew the brand up. It grew everywhere. And, and was with them all the way until the days that, they decided to sell out and go to Duraflame route. And, and that's okay. It was a big eye opener for me because I put my heart and soul and everything else into growing the brand. And, with some expectations that I was actually growing for something for me as well. And at the end, it didn't happen that way. And it's okay. And it got me to step off and, spend some time with Fogo Charcoal with Sebastian. Great guy. Love that guy. Great products. Spun off of that, spent some time with Tim Shear over at Blues Hog, developed some of the charcoal program for him. And then we just got to a point that said, you know what, I don't even know why I'm doing this for everybody because my history has been I've always built a lot of things for other people, whether it's in relationships or, whatever. I've always given a lot of people a leg up, I think, introducing them to brands or, doing something. And just got to a point to where it was like benefiting everybody but me. And so I just went out and said, hey, I'm going to start this whole deal. Partnered up with a group out of Mexico, and we private label a lot of charcoal. But we also have, they let me go and start my own brand. So the original idea behind all this when we did Texas Original is I didn't want to happen to this brand what I've seen happen to all the other brands. I wanted it to be special. I wanted it to be in very unique markets. I wanted it to be a high quality product, but at a very reasonable price. My idea was, I just wanted to give people what they wanted. And we went out there, did it for about 2 years, pushed hard, got into a lot of, bigger events, shows, did all kinds of stuff and try to push brand. I partnered with a pit maker, a pit builder that was out of Texas Original Charcoal, or Texas Original Pits rather. And with the idea that we were going to collaborate and we're just going to make this big old monster. And again, me out there pushing, both brands at one time. And then all of a sudden, they just decided, we don't want to do this anymore. And, so then I had to decide, what am I going to do? I started this as a charcoal guy, so that's how I'm going to continue. So we still have some plans to try to put some grills and stuff like that together. I can still do it for people who want to do it. I have some great fabricators that we're doing to build some of the designs that I designed in the past. But like I said, as of right now, we're really focusing on charcoal right now. We're trying to expand market. I had a lot of great opportunities. I've had some big boxes come knock on my door. And at the time I was hard headed and I didn't want to do it. Should have done it probably, but I didn't want to hurt my dealers that I had promised, we're going to keep this, with us, type of thing. Just because I don't want the market destroyed. Right. And once you get to so much volume, it's very hard to control your quality. It's very hard to control, various things, that happen in there. But we have a good core of people, my brand ambassadors, which is what we call my barbecue family. And the guys that I have with me right now, I have guys like Robert Rocha. I've got guys like Fred Robles. I've got guys like Hector Senega, Uncle Vic's down from Laredo. I've got guys like Manuel Moreno, and I've got a ton more that I'm not even mentioning. And honestly, they're all have been friends. They've been with me forever. They followed me from brand to brand. Got guys like Ira Green. He's the only guy, or one of the only guys from Texas who's automatic into Jack this year. I'm super proud of him. But it's kind of like one of those deals that I just kind of I love what we do in that aspect, and I don't want to dilute it. Not yet, at least. Like I said, as much as I can. We went back and we've got a great briquette product that I think is probably one of the best ones on the market. We've got a great lump charcoal product. Everything's oak right now. We have plans to expand the brand and bring other products in, but right now it's like that's the core. And I probably sell more charcoal in Canada than I do anywhere else. I ship more into Canada right now. I have Janice Smella, who's out there in Canada with Smella Q. She's one of my biggest cheerleaders, really, out there, and she has great success with the product. Uh, we've had a lot of interest, to go overseas with it again with some very special, barbecue specialty type companies. And I think I'm okay. I wish this was going 500 miles an hour faster than what it's going today, but I'm okay with it as well. So we still, again, we're private labeling for other customers, other products that they're requesting, and to me, that's still my number one priority is getting out their product. So, sometimes my stuff gets a back burner. Um, but that's okay. It makes people look a little bit harder for my product. I wish that I was further out of Texas, but we are working on some good LTL stuff. We're, finally getting into where we're going to be able to make it a little bit more economical for people to get a hold of the product. Um, and I've just decided, like within the last, couple weeks, that we are chasing some bigger box store distributors. There's some farm and ranch groups which are kind of taking over a lot of stuff in some of these markets that I think would be a good fit for me. And but again, like I said, is there's certain criteria that we're asking is I want everybody to sell it for the same price. I want everybody to have an opportunity to make some money on this charcoal, because for a retailer, you would know this very well, if there's no margin in it, it's not worth selling. And that was kind of my whole idea, was if I can create a brand that creates enough margin for my wholesale customer, that my end user is happy with the price that he's paying because he thinks he's getting the quality out of it, then why do I need to do anything else? And so that's just been kind of my mentality. And again, it's a little bit of hard headedness, but I'm okay with where I'm at. And like I said, small scale building is fine. And it's kind of one of those things that we kind of get back to, this core group of people that I kind of depend on to give me this feedback, and the guys who go out there and represent me, every weekend, really. And, it's a small group, but they're a very powerful group. And it's not because I picked all these people because they were all winners. I actually picked most of these guys when they weren't winning anything. And they've just turned out to be a good group because they all share information, they all work together, and we've made a big collective. Last year at American Royal, we took Manuel Moreno. We have Bobby Delgado, who's down here. He's killing it down here, Quattro D. And then we have another guy down here who is, Manuel said, hey, I want to bring these guys in to come cook with us at Royal. And I was like, and they're all head cooks. And it's like, I don't know how that's going to work, and he's like, no, we're going to do it. And they did. They came together, and, we wound up with a first place port call there. The guys were super ecstatic, and I was like, okay, I guess it does work. I've seen it happen where you get all those head cooks together, and it's like total chaos. And when they got this deal together, it meshed so well. And then we've taken that same mentality, and those guys call me up and go, hey, we're going to go cook over here as Texas Original. It's like, dude, cook under your team name or whatever. Like, nah, we're going to go do it. So I have these guys who go do this all the time, and, and they just tell me that they're going to go do it. And at the end of the day, it makes me proud that they want to do it. But at the same time, yeah, so it's pretty awesome. Back in the early days of B&B, when we were just building stuff together, and we had Lambert and Malcolm and Cosmo, and we had all these great people that we had together that had just meshed together, and look at where all their successes all led. Like I said, part of my deal was always giving my people opportunities. We go to these bigger trade shows. We go to ACE shows, whatever, and bring guys who didn't have brands in those stores yet. And my biggest thing is look, I'm going to give you an opportunity. I'll make the introduction, and what happens after that's up to you. And watching guys like Mo grow into what they are, and now he's kind of separated off, and now he's got his own little thing going, like in the charcoal world. He's got a brand that's backing him out of Canada. And, but I think that the industry is built with so many great people right now, and there's so many great brands. Everybody's got something right now. And, I don't know what's going to happen. Is it going to continue? Is everyone still going to continue to be creative and grow? And, it's changed from the time of being a winner to being a social media influencer.
Yes.
That's the thing,
and that's hard. That's hard for people of our generation because that's a lot.
It is. It's a full-time job on top of everyone's full-time job, and and now for retail spaces, if you want to get into that big box store, if you don't have social media, you don't have a chance. That's one of the biggest things that they want is, you have to have a following. I've got so many people that are in this Houston area right now who've got great seasonings, who's got great everything, and are selling on a smaller scale.
But if you don't have a story or a social media following, they don't want you.
Exactly.
Well, that being the reason for that is that it saves them. It saves them marketing costs because they can put it on the shelves and the products sell themselves. I mean, I don't
exactly.
Case in point, as we all know,
and that's what we're seeing an influx.
With Church, it's
yep.
I don't have to do anything with Matt Pittman's product. I put it on there. I can tell what he's doing, what products he's promoting, because I always bring up the fajita. The fajita will sit there forever. Then all of a sudden you'll start selling fajita like crazy. And sure enough, then, the email comes in and that's his recipe of the week. So that's why they want to do it. They don't have to promote anything.
No, exactly. 100%.
A lot of that's happening too with the food shows, barbecue brawl, and that. Mm-hmm. They don't want people that have been doing this for a living or been doing it for a long time. They want the amateurs that have the social media following. They don't want the people that really should be there competing. They want the stories. Yeah.
And that was and funny. I mean, just what you're saying, like barbecue brawl, we had the opportunity to do barbecue brawl a couple years ago. They were looking for pits, so at the time we got the pits on there, and, we spent I think it was season 4. We spent the time with them, and, Texas Original Pits sent the pits out. I took myself and went out there to go make sure the pits were there and they were, ready to go. And I snuck some charcoal on the set and, all kinds of deal, and went up there and wound up, helping them shoot that whole season. And then we get another call for this past season that just wrapped up, and they wanted to see if they could have us back again. And, and I said, that's fine. I said, I mean, you already have the pits anyway. So, but they wanted a few more pieces of equipment. Luckily they shot here in Austin. So, it was very convenient. And, then they wanted me to come and they have what's called a fire handler, type of deal, because you got to light all their pits, and you got to, none of those people light their own pits. I'm going to just tell you that. And hardly any of them manage their own pits. So that's a little secret that maybe nobody knows. But yeah, I mean, I was really taken aback when I went to the first one that we went to, which was out in California. They had a guy who was the fire manager, and I was only going out there for a couple of days just to make sure that the pits were there and they were camera ready and stuff like that. And then there's a guy who showed up that had like a green egg store or something like that out there in San Francisco Bay area. And that's all he knew. So he did a deal with them to where he was going to be out there for X amount of days while they shot. He was going to provide all the fuel. He was going to provide, all the stuff. So it was all green egg stuff that all he had. And, we had live fire tables out there. We had these offset smokers, and the guy literally only knew how to run green eggs. And so I wound up out there with the culinary director, and she was just having a fit because, nobody's pits were hot enough. Nobody's, whatever. So I just kind of jumped in there and started helping him. And then she was like, can you stay, a week or whatever to kind of help us get through this stuff. And we did. So we kicked it off. And then when they came back to Austin, they go, look, we really kind of need somebody who knows what they're doing. Can you get us some people? And I was like, I'll just go. And I grabbed a couple of people I knew and did it. But like I said, we had the opportunity to set up the pits and, talk to all the contestants and get them to understand how all the equipment worked, because most of them can all cook, but they just didn't know how to run fires. We had Dr. Barbecue on there. And again, Dr. Barbecue, I love him, but that's his kind of his forte is at Green Egg. He can cook on anything, but you still have these people who are like, I want this hotter. And I was like, okay, so do you want me to show you where the vent is? What do you want me to tell you, on how to get this thing hotter? And then I come back to reality and understand that half the people just don't know, even though they can go and watch a video and they can, mimic what everybody's doing. The hardest part is running the pit, the piece of equipment that you have in the backyard, whether it's the one your grandpa made, or it's the Weber from 1956, or it's a brand new Weber,
or it's Joey Machado's fire table.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that, we're kind of seeing a trend right now with people who are, they really want to expand their knowledge in cooking, but I think a lot of people are still missing, the point. Me coming from a charcoal background, that's kind of what I've kind of honed my skills in understanding what a bag of fuel is going to do. Not every bag of fuel is exactly the same. That, there's some that is 20 pounds, and there's some that's really 20 pounds. There's some that is kiln dried, then it's carbonized, and there's some that is green and then, carbonized. My products are carbonized while they're green, which gives them more mass, and it makes it, denser, and it makes it last longer. And you'll pull that one piece out that isn't carbonized all the way. So guess what? You don't have to put a wood chunk in there, but it's kind of like, it's getting people to understand what it is. I still think that briquettes are still a number one seller, for most people. Whether,
yes.
Well, it's just, there's so many people who just grew up with it, and it's hard to lose that. I think we're still a generation or two away before people will understand, oh no, lump is, 100% the way to go, and then again, like, I hate shipping somebody a bag of lump, I'll ship
as a caterer, they're not learning to cook. So you're struggling. So we might be 2 generations away before the next one comes around that actually wants to learn stuff. I'm not going to lie. I mean, this generation right now is keeping me in the business.
Yep. 100%, and like I said, it's still, there's people who still, we get so many people who want us to go teach them how to cook, but they don't really want to learn. They just want to eat, they want to put something on for their friends and, and have a little bit of a meal afterwards. And there is a huge market in that right now. I've got a good friend of mine who, his name is Brandon Ryder, who is he's a Texas country artist. And during COVID, because he wasn't getting any singing gigs, he decided to start doing this dinner and a show thing, small scale. He'd come to your house, cook you a whole dinner, and then at the end of the night, he'll strum you a couple songs and, around the campfire and get on out. And, which reminds me, I was supposed to call him back today, and I didn't. He's got some cool stuff in the works. And the nice thing about me is I still love cooking, and I don't get enough chances to do it. So we've had a lot of opportunities to go and do a lot of festivals and go do, that type of deal. And we're trying to take advantage of those opportunities more. I think there's a little bit more of a future in going and doing that stuff. We're fixing to go do Al Fragoni's got a live fire event that he'll be having in Hondo, Texas next month. And I started doing stuff with Al probably, 3 years ago. And he had this, I'm sorry.
I love him.
Al's a great guy. And Al's funny because I met him through TikTok. And found out that he lived, he's just on the other side of San Antonio from me.
Mhm.
And we met online. I went out there and I took Mark Suarez, my videographer. Me and him went out there and spent a day with Al just cooking. I cooked what I cooked, he cooked what he cooked, and it turned out to be a great friendship. Right, and that was right when Al was starting. He was just getting his seasoning out. I think he was at 100,000 followers at that time on
That was
TikTok.
before he did Memphis in May, I believe.
Yeah. So actually, that next year is when I took him to Memphis, and again, it's like one of those deals. I befriended Al. We started going doing stuff. I took him to go cook Memphis. I took him to. We went and cooked for Cosmo up in Oklahoma. Wound up they met up and they're doing a little business together. And again, Al has got this personality that, like, I mean, everyone loves him, first off, but secondly, I don't even know if he really understands how powerful he is, because he's just like gone off the charts.
He doesn't
And
no, he doesn't. He's very humble.
yeah, he's super, super cool guy. And now he's got this core group that's around him right now, where you have, Jeremy Yoder, meat scientist. You got Matt Rourke. Yeah, you've got, Mel, Dark Side of the Grill. You've got TFTI, Lucas DeForest, Cooking with Zandage. I mean, this group of people came around him that are like, they're crazy talented. They all found their niche in this social media market. And, those guys are just all killing it. But that's a different world than what we came up in. That's not the world that we came in.
No, it's not. I got to experience that at BBQ conference in January.
Yeah,
that was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen.
Yep. And again, he's just cooking the way that they cook in Argentina.
He'll hug your neck like you're the next door neighbor.
Oh yeah, no, he's a great guy.
He's that cool. He's that cool.
Yeah, and he's got a good generation coming behind him. His son Luca is a great kid. He's got another younger son that I think is going to do wonderful. Luca just started doing YouTube videos, and he's got the look, the personality, everything else. I think he could do really, really well. But again, I mean, like I said, is from where we came from in this barbecue world. There's only one Mark Lambert. There's only one Tuffy. There's only one, Heath Riles. There's, those guys are like, they're done. They've done it all. I mean, what else do you have to really put in front of them? Even like Tim Shear, we've been blessed. Yeah, I mean, we've been blessed to be around some of these great people who I don't think there'll ever be another one. I mean, like a Harry Sue or, any of these other guys. Hey, you too.
Well, she's
done yet.
But I mean, it's kind of crazy though that, like I said, is all these people that we came up with from, especially with the Memphis scene, that were like they were just guys. I remember when there was still checkered flags in Heath Spot.
Oh, I remember way before that.
Oh, I know. I
can
know.
tell you stories. I remember when Melissa was before she was Melissa.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Joey, I'm not gonna lie. I've been a big fan of yours and talking to you since you were at B&B, and I've been following you through Photo and through Blues Hog and through Texas Chrome. I may not follow you through Charcoal and Texas Chrome, but your tables are amazing.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to be about cooking on one again. I'm sorry, I'm borrowing the Boar's Night Out one this year.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you were coming up to Indianapolis, but
I don't know. I actually have been in talks with with McLeod, and unfortunately, I hadn't even told him yet. I hadn't told him yet, but I mean, Indianapolis in February does not sound very appealing to me.
November.
Oh, November. Oh yeah, that's much better. So, I do know that there's some guys going up there. I may go ahead and send some equipment up with those guys. But I think it's probably a trip I'm going to have to bow out on, because like I said,
that's a long distance for you. When it was in downtown, when it was in Orange Beach, it was kind of closer, but
oh yeah,
that's like a 2-day trip for you.
No, it's a huge trip. That's and like I
was
said,
very
it's just
fortunate that the boar's not out. Fellas bought a table from you and they're letting me borrow it
yeah,
for life and
it's
Firewoman. So I'm
yeah.
excited.
Time
'Cause
wise is
your tables are amazing.
well, I appreciate that. You have to see. I just created a new. So I do a lot of stuff with Weber. So Dustin Green and I are good friends, and so we had some plans to do some events coming up, and I felt bad because I was trying to help promote Weber. There you go. I do have a Weber deal, and but I felt bad because I was like always pushing. I was always cooking on my stuff, and so I do have two Weber ranch kettles that I use for events and stuff like that.
I have one.
And so what I did was I created a cage that I put on a Weber ranch kettle. Haven't released it yet. Haven't put photos out. Haven't done anything. But I've turned it. I have turned it. I will, because what I've done is I've turned the Weber ranch kettle into a live fire table, and
I have a Weber kettle. I would love to see that.
We will be kind of launching this, and I'm going to kind of share it with the Weber group and kind of see if we can get some feedback on it. So far, Dustin's seen it only in photos and videos. He hasn't physically seen it. He's supposed to come down and cook with me over at Owl's, and so that'll be kind of the first time. I actually just fired it today to understand and everything. So I put a cage on there that's the same diameter as the lid. I used the existing grill on there, still able to, I raised it probably about 4.5 inches. So I can lift the lid, I can load fire in there. I mean, it just works amazing. I can hang stuff. I've got movable shelves. And there's a few attachments that Al's got on his stuff that I can adapt to this one. Okay. And but again, it's a Weber Ranch kettle. This is just going to be an accessory. And it's probably something that I'm going to put out there and market. And because, again, it's unique in the market. I really don't see 10 people going out there to go build these things. And I'm still going to be able to offer it customizable. So you can put your team names on there. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff. And I can ship it almost flat. And then, but like I said, it's a really cool piece. And I think it's going to change the game a little bit because, again, the market's getting so inundated, pit-wise, live fire tables. When we started with the live fire, trajectory, we were kind of like making it happen. And then between that little window of 1 year, I got 6 guys who are making one identical to the one that I designed, so exactly. And, the quality is not the same and, this, that, and the other, but it was the same problem that I had with selling the offset pits and the charcoal grills we're doing. If you put that pit against a, old country pit in a picture, they look the same. Their pit is, $700. Mine was, $1,800, but you never knew the difference until you got it to your house. You go, oh yeah, this is way different.
So accessory is, are you seeing any more ranch kettle sales in the United States that make this worth their time?
I do, because I actually asked Weber, it's a product that they don't sell a ton of, right? Majority of them are shipped directly from Weber. But I know a lot of people who have them, not in one general area, but scattered all over the place. There's a lot of people who have them. And I think
that's where I think you're going to be. I mean, we used to say, before COVID, before all the price increases, we would sell 1 or 2 ranch kettles a year. Now it's kind of gotten to where, to buy a new ranch kettle, you're around $1,800.
Yeah, $1,800,
$1,200 before the pandemic.
I got mine at Memphis in May from the Danish team.
But I think what you're saying is, I think that works out perfect. And there's a lot of people that do have them. Weber doesn't currently make any accessories for it.
No.
So by doing that, you're in a whole different window. I'm going to let you finish your story. And then we got
my first FCA.
I'm going to catch up on some comments because we came out hot out of it.
I'm going to go through the comments here once he's ready.
Well, and that was kind of one of the things too, is when I was trying to brainstorm on, trying to bring something unique to the market. And I think that this could be it. It's not worth it doing it on a 26-inch kettle. This is the only monster that you can do it on. But I do have a fire pit that it'll go on. So that changes the game a little bit, because then all of a sudden we can put it on some fire pits that are already in existence out there. So that's another piece that we can put it on.
It's
you
just
know,
a diameter.
yeah.
Well,
So the one that we have, you have the cage, but you put the lid right back on top. But now
I would second look that on the 26-inch kettle, Joey, because I think there's a I talk to Weber all the time about it when I meet with people that come in the store. The 26 has kind of been their redheaded stepchild of their kettle line, and
right.
there is a huge market out there of people who have bought that size. Because in my personal opinion, I think it's better than the 22-inch just because it gives you
100%. Yeah.
If you're getting a kettle grill, that's the size you should get.
Mm-hmm.
But they have absolutely, as of right now, they have absolutely zero accessories that go with that. And there's a whole market out there that are starving, that own 26s, that are starving for different type of accessories that they can put on that
Correct.
on the kettle. So you may want to. And live fire seems to be getting to be.
It's trending very hard.
It's trending very.
There's a teaser.
Yeah, Joey, call me, please.
So if you see in the back, there's a 22 in yellow, and then there's the smoke gray 26 behind it. So it's a monster. My wife says it looks like the Hamburglar thing that they used to have at McDonald's.
I love it. So I'm in Fire Woman and in Live Fire for World Food.
Yep.
So I'm like,
and I'm going to tell you, I'm still up in the air on World Foods, but like I said, it's these days, with me being a smaller company and everything else, if it's not cost,
and top it up for you, I'll do it. I will.
Yeah. No. But I'm just saying, I've gotten to the point right now, if it's not cost positive or it's not cost neutral, it's so hard for me to do. And then I still have to take care of my, my brand ambassador guys, because like I said, is they do a ton for me. And I have to make sure that those guys are taken care of too. And we're right in the middle of trying to finish our house, and that's not helping anything right now as well. But we're hoping that we're going to be wrapped up with that. And then out there at the ranch, we're actually building a big cooking studio. And then we're probably going to start bringing people out to shoot content and stuff out there, and probably have a few events out there. But like I said, that's kind of what I think that's where my life direction is right now. Is I want to work hard, but I don't want to work too hard. I just want to build what we have, and
not harder.
That's it. And I love my
right now. That's my motto: work smarter, not
harder. Yeah.
I'm finding out which states like me better.
Exactly. And we love our barbecue family, and I think that we're just going to see where the future takes us right now. We are currently entertaining any dealers right now who want to take on Texas Original Charcoal products. We do have a good LTL program right now. If we can get to where we're ordering more than 3 pallets at a time, we can definitely get it economical. Let's go.
I have some fellows that you need to talk to.
No, I'm all ears. Just let me know. And like it's
LTL program.
Yeah, no, 100%. I've done some
barbecue people, and they try to take care of barbecue people.
Yeah. And like I said, that's our main priority is, we know it's a niche market. We still love those guys. And, we love backyard people. We love everyone. But the ones who really have taken a shine more to the products have been more comp guys. And I'm not going to lie to you. And like I said, it's because there has been a void created in the product lines because the quality of products that used to be don't exist anymore. It just went, once you go to a certain level, like I said, you can't wait to bag the good stuff. You got to bag everything. And that's kind of what's happening. Now some of these companies have gotten too big that they can't make all the product in one location. So you may be getting 2 different variations of the same product that aren't built the same anymore. And it's unfortunate to see in the market, but like I said, we are, we're striving right now just to put out the best product we possibly can. Trying to make it as dumbed down as possible, make it super simple. And, I don't need 15 different pricing structures. It's pretty simple. We almost do kind of like a map pricing, but it's not a map. It's honor system type of deal. I've got some guys who make a ton of money on it because they hop in their truck and they'll drive 3 hours down to come pick it up straight from my warehouse. And then we have some people who, again, I'm sending it to some people on the far, far, far East Coast that, again, it's cost some of those guys $200 to get a pallet there, and that sucks. I hate to see that, but they had people who wanted product and they wanted to sell it,
Honestly,
and
a lot of the charcoal companies that are sponsoring people right now, they're facing the same issue.
yeah, everybody is.
It costs them more to ship the product than it does to just have them go pick it up somewhere.
Oh yeah. I mean, every time, and I tell my guys, so my guys don't get pallets. That's just the way it is. So, what my guys get is we get a schedule of events that we're going to do. Everybody gets X amount of product that we get to them somehow, but we do not ship full pallets. And so what they wind up doing is they have an opportunity to get X amount of product that we earmark as marketing dollars. And then after that, I sell to them at my full truckload, pricing that I would sell to a dealer. And, I'm saying, I got guys who like to cater. I got guys who like to do all this other stuff. I love for you to have product out there when you go and cook and you walk that stage and you can honestly say, it was my charcoal that you actually use in your pit and it wasn't just something else. And you're just saying it, that's kind of the thing is, I want to make sure the guys have the best tools, to go and hit these battles every time they go. But at the same time, because I'm a small guy, it still comes out of my pocket. If somebody pays for it.
I'll be honest, as a competitor, when I'm going to these events like World Food and World Steak and all the big ones that you and B&B and all them are at, it's actually more beneficial and relaxing for me to just show up at the event and pick up my stuff from you guys there.
Yep, 100%. 100%.
It saves you a lot on shipping and stuff like that too.
Yep.
But no, I appreciate that because it's less.
And we're
making my truck because I'm not bringing it home anyway. I'm cooking with it.
Exactly. And we actually there's an event that's up this weekend, and I have guys who are, they're traveling like 5 hours. I'm going to drive 2 hours tomorrow to go meet some of my guys, get them loaded up. I have people who PM me all the time. They can't find my product in their area. I'll go out there and go spend some time with them, and it's just one of those deals. I mean, I think it's super important, to be able to have these guys out there who are branding for me all the time, and walking the stage at the end of the day. That's incredible. I go through feeds every weekend, and my wife, it probably, responds to more feeds than I do. But she's always, that's it. I mean, I catch my wife all the time. She's watching 2 different award ceremonies on, any given weekend, and that's it. Rooting for my people, and that's been what it is. It's a family business. My son wants to come back and, once we get a little bit more going and I can afford him, he wants to come back with us. My daughter just went to go work with Turkey Federation, so she's doing the marketing and stuff for them. So that's made me extremely happy. I love Leslie and all them with Turkey Federation, and I think that she's going to be able to kind of help them in a marketing way to build turkey smoke better, to build the brand awareness. And now I'm linking her up with all these people that we know, from Cosmo to Heath Riles to everybody else out there. The networking in this game is incredible.
Huge.
When I went out on my own and started my own brand, I had a lot of people who just quit talking to me, and it was because they didn't want to screw up their brand deals or this, that, and the other, or they were worried that someone was going to get mad at them because they talked to me or whatever. I've had a history of people thinking that I steal people from brands. I'll throw it out there. When I have people who, when I left a company and I had people go, now that you're going, what are you going to do? Because I'm going to follow you. No matter what you do, I'm going to follow you. I can't help that. I tell people all the time and all my ambassadors, if you get a cash deal, somebody wants to write you a check, take it. Again, I don't want to be the one to slow you down from growing. But again, I don't cut checks. I don't send full pallets. I tell my guys, the first time you post a pallet in your driveway, you gone, because I don't want that mentality of people going, you just use it because you get it for free. Hey, I don't want that. I want you to use it because it works for you. I've had people who have actually called me and, it's the same deal. Send me product and I'll represent your brand. So show me where you've been using my product. Well, no, I haven't, but as soon as I get it, well, that don't work for me. You have to, if I have something that works for you, we'll figure something out. But if I don't, then what's the use? And but that's just kind of my mentality has totally changed now because again, like I said, you're not going to hurt my feelings if you go, I like this one better than yours. Perfect. Use it. We can still be friends, and but I guarantee you, like I said, for most people who do try the product, they wind up trying to figure out how to get it because it is better than a lot of stuff that you're going to be able to get your hands on. And it's either better or it's less expensive. One of the two, and for most people who are out there doing this every single weekend, if you can save them $2 a bag, that's a lot when you're cooking 30 contests a year, and you're burning through, 3 bags of charcoal in a weekend. We're going to an event tomorrow that it's a double header. So it's an IBCA and a KCBS, so we have these guys who are, they're loading for bear. Everybody was burning drums. Now they're like half the people are burning drums, half the people are on stick burners. So the fuel consumption is just keeps going like this. But I have so many people right now that they just want to run briquettes in a drum. They don't even want to run lump anymore. And as far as with my product goes, and that's awesome. I love that. But again, like I said, is you still have those two schools. People still want to, run lump and a mixture of, or, whatever the case may be. I only do oak products right now because I don't think there's a need to do any other one. I'd love to do some pecan products. Unfortunately, it just
pecan would do well.
Yeah, it would do well. Unfortunately,
pecan would do well in the Memphis area.
Yeah, it's hard to source in quantities and that type of deal. I just got some samples of a really, really, really good charcoal that they call ebony from down in Mexico. And I just got some stuff in today. I burned it today. Amazing. Smells great. Huge pieces. It's almost like a Quebracho Blanco, but it's a little bit different. And so we're going to play around with it and see what happens. I think right now I have it available in like 40-pound sacks, 45-pound sacks, something like that. But they're like unbranded. We're going to kind of push it towards the restaurant side of things. And a lot of people, for us around here, there's a lot of Brazilian restaurants. There's a lot of open fire restaurants that do a lot of grilled chicken and stuff like that. So we're going to play with it and see what happens. But, we have the ability to do lots of things, from wood chunks to chips to, all types of briquettes and extruded products and, you name it. But right now we're just kind of staying the tried and true right now until the demand can justify,
so
us
one
doing something
question
else.
for you. You've talked about sanctioning bodies that obviously heavily use your products. Which ones that you would like to encroach upon, and how can we help you with that?
Honestly, I sit on the board with CBA, with the Champions Barbecue Alliance. We've had history with IBCA. We've done stuff with KCBS. I think that I'm a very small fish in a big pond. I don't have the marketing dollars that most of these people want. That's the biggest thing. What we wind up doing is we have some events that I like pick a handful of events and we go dedicate and we go supply charcoal for the cooks. We go and, I bring I bring the live fire show deal. We go feed the people. That's kind of our deal. Can't do it all the time, but we pick a handful of events to go do. I love, we go down, we've got a hogs team with my good friend Tung from down in New Orleans. So we have a Hogs for the Cause team. We've got a American Royal team. We've got a Memphis and May team, and now some of them want to do Smoke Slam. So I've got a house divided right now. Last year we did both, so we had teams at both.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you this right here as a current thing. As of now, Memphis and May doesn't care if you compete at both.
No, and honestly, I had heard so much chatter about teams that were like, oh, we're just going to cook both of them. Well, that's cool. I mean, whatever,
You can do it.
I actually enjoyed it this year because all we did was visit. So we got to go see teams, and it was easy. And and then I had stuff down at Owl Spot, down at Smoke Slam. So we had a place to go, every time that we went.
Well,
and then that. Go ahead.
If you have questions, you know a girl.
Oh yeah, no, 100%, 100%. I'm going to see what my guys want to wind up doing. Last year was pretty successful. We had a good time. I actually have my Texas guys want to put together a Memphis team. So for Memphis and Matt.
All the people I love in barbecue, not all of them, the majority of the people that I love in barbecue are from Texas.
Well, I appreciate that. Texas special place.
I'm not gonna lie, the most hospitality that me and Brandon have ever gotten out of anywhere is been out of the state of Texas.
No, and it's and that's kind of
my second home.
Yeah, well, I hated seeing World Food leave because I really felt like that was one of the best homes for it. I didn't, it could have been. Oh, I know, but I mean, Orange Beach was my all-time favorite. That
was our first time.
In that contest, that concept of that contest with KCBS against IBCA, man, even though it didn't turn out that way, that was like the coolest concept ever. And I think if they did that today, it would blow up. But at World Food, barbecue was always the redheaded stepchild of that event.
Well,
at the very beginning.
After this, because I can't say things on record.
No, I know, but that's the deal. Is we all understand if it wasn't for barbecue and SCA, there wouldn't be anybody at awards. That's kind of the deal. That is the core group. When you go to those events, and now, of course, McLeod's going that direction. That now it's the live fire and it's the fire woman because he figured out the kitchen gets a little boring. People want to see some action. And I know. And but that's the deal is you have to have this balance, right? I just don't think I want to do it in the snow, and
well, me being perimenopausal, I'm enjoying it because I'm having a hot flash.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if there'll be that much snow in Indy in November, Joey. It just
I know.
It's
you'll
cold.
You'll be looking at like 40s maybe.
No, I know. I'm going to tell you, everybody who's going to be out there, though, is going to be out there because, as of right now, I know
the music was better outside. The vibe was better
everything.
Outside.
Oh, we had such a blast. I mean, I had a great group out there. We had such a blast out there. And like I said, it kind of hurts my heart a little bit that, like I said, there's a good chance we probably won't go just because of the distance and economical. It just doesn't make sense at the end of the day.
Well,
but
we can help you
we really went to go do it because we wanted to make sure everybody who needed a piece of equipment had a piece of equipment to cook on.
I cooked on a different grill every day. I worked with whatever you gave me, and I really appreciate everything you did for us. And
I
had a perfect score on the opening round on your fire table. That was badass.
I know.
Before we
And
get too late into the game, let's start going to Q&A because we're going to run out of time.
yep. Go right ahead.
What are you talking about? We can go all night. There's no time limit on this show.
I told you he could talk.
As long as Joey's, well, I know Joey can talk, but
I told you Joey could talk. All right, so first off,
as long as Joey's water doesn't give out.
Hey, everyone wants to know where Ryan's at.
Here, you can do it like this. See, like this. Where's Ryan at? We got rid of the bum. He stunk as a co-host. Michelle, we finally made the change. The logos will be changing next week. Barbecue Blackstone and beer will be off. Ain't It the Life will be in. Ryan's gone.
Oh,
no, he's not.
Don't do that
you know
to
what?
him.
You know what, Ryan? I'd have to say he loves to do all his competitions. He loves to do the shows. He loves to do the griddle battle. He does all this other stuff. But he's where he's supposed to be. I believe Caden had some kind of a sporting event, which is his son, and that's where he needs to be. And he does take time off.
I get it. There were 2 restaurants that closed down in our area around here, and they were trying to get me and Brandon to buy them. I was like, nope. I got a 9-year-old that likes to play football.
So
I am not opening restaurants. All right, so on to the next question. We're new to non-gas grilling, smoking. What's your thought on pellet grills?
I've had every type of pellet grill. So one of my favorites is a Yoder. I have a Yoder 640 and on a comp cart, and that has been like, it's been a beast. Actually, my son Ty started cooking on that thing. I bought it for him to do competitions because he couldn't manage a fire, but he could cook. And so I bought him that. He would cook a whole competition on there. But I recently got, and I've had everything from Pit Boss to Green Mountains to, everything's got its deal. But I have to say, I just recently got a new Weber pellet grill. And I have to say that it is probably the most efficient one. It's quiet. It has like no issues. At first, we did an event in Kansas a few months back or whatever, and Dustin brought one over and he goes, "Here, cook something on this." And I was like, "All right," kind of not, that wasn't our plan, but we started, and we were actually at those events. I do ribeye rolls and tomahawk steaks, and so we threw some ribeye rolls in there, and reverse seared in there. And then we seared in there. And so we cut them down, seared them off. He swore to God the thing would be hot enough for me to sear across the whole grill. And it was.
Is there a diverter plate on that?
There is, but it's like it'll get up over 550 degrees.
With the diverter plate?
Yes.
They'll get up to, they're supposed to get up to 600. And actually,
right.
What we're talking about is Weber came out this year with their new sear wood. They started off with the smoke fire. That one ended up having the black eye. Never could get rid of it. It was a great unit as well. But there's new sear wood that's going to give you, as Joey can attest to, because obviously he's seen it. It gives you the option. You can put a rotisserie on it, so you can do smoke rotisserie on it. The strangest thing is as Joey was talking about, they actually now have the flat top insert that they have for their gas grills. That'll also fit in there. There's also a setting on there that you can actually cook with the lid open. For a pellet grill is usually pretty tough to do. I think they did a great job with the sear wood. So I'd have to second Joey on that one. It's for where it's supposed to be. It's not in the Yoder caliber as far as being these big pieces, this heavy duty. It is a backyard residential unit. It's very, very nicely priced. And I think a lot of people are going to be happy with that. It's an awesome pellet grill. And
I got the smaller one, and I got it because it's a perfect size to fit in the RV and everything else. Doesn't collapse. It's stationary. It does have wheels so you can move it around. But like I said, it's probably one of the smartest pieces that I've seen put together in a retail market, just because, like I said, it's so many brands have been, again, see them everywhere, right? Same thing at Lowe's or Home Depot or Walmart or whatever. I mean, it's like super confusing for everybody out there right now. But I think that you're exactly right. The price point on that unit and everything else, I think it's right there. And honestly, it looks great for what it is, because some of them are just like super flimsy and that type of deal. But I'm sold on it. So
it's a cast aluminum body on that. So it's
yeah,
got a cast aluminum body, and I think the one Joey's talking about, the Weber 600,
yep,
Searwood, the Searwood 600, I want to say that retails for $8.99. So it's not
yep,
a terrible, Weber for a long time, and I'm trust me, I've been selling them for 30 years. And they probably won't lie to you either. They have a knock of, just because it has the nameplate on it that says Weber,
yep,
it's going to be multi-million trillion dollars.
yep,
And for a long time that was the case, but the Searwood at your $8.99, $11.99, that's a perfect entry level price point for somebody who's looking for a good quality. And not only that, Weber probably has the best customer service in the grilling industry. I don't know if somebody's going to fight me on that, but from selling them for so long, they do back up their products, and they'll usually get you what you need, unless obviously somebody's abusing something. That's a whole different story. But
All right. So
and it's go ahead.
the next comment is, where's Ryan?
we got that already. The heck with Ryan, he's gone. Oh no, and I got here. Mark says Machado AF. We know.
Oh no, I was getting to that one next because I like that one.
Oh
Yeah.
Well,
So
here,
Mark Suarez. Mark Suarez he's been my videographer for years, and he's ventured off. He's a freelancer, but he's also got they've got a page. It's called Chicken Bark, and it's hilarious. But like I said, if the people who know Mark, and the people know how creative he is, the people know what a character he is. But like I said, that guy has cranked out some killer content. We shot a lot of the content for Tim Shear and Brad for their barbecue channel. We've shot a lot of content for a lot of other people. I think right now he's like putting out some of that old content, refreshing it and putting it out there. But we had the opportunity to Ernest Cervantes has been a great friend of mine for years and years and years, ever since he got started. And when Ernest first started, so he's got Burnt Bean Barbecue, for anyone who doesn't know. So Burnt Bean is down here in Seguin, Texas, my hometown. He had been a comp cook for years, and he was an executive chef for Sodexo, and he made the big change to open up a barbecue restaurant. And as of right now, anyone who does not know the name Burnt Bean Barbecue, know it, because that's fixing to be the #1 barbecue in Texas. Probably should have been that last year, but it is a phenomenal. There was nothing in this town that would attract people to this town, and I'm facetious, but when he came to town, there is a line from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is the day to go. There is a line wrapped around the block for his spot every single day that he's open. And we had the opportunity, because I had this inkling. I was like, this guy's fixing to be #1. I said, Mark, we need to get in there, go do this interview with him before it all happens, because after he's #1, we're not going to be able to get this interview. So we went and we did one, and he kind of told his story and, the whole backstory. He's got it out there live right now. You should go and check it out. I think he's got it on Chicken Bark. If not, he's probably listening and he's going to go load it. But anyways, like I said, if you go look up the Burnt Bean story, we did one on them. We did one on Valentina's. We did one on 2M Barbecue. So we had a series that we were doing called Meet the Pitmaster, 3-4 years ago, something like that. And we worked with Twang Beer Salt Company, and we went around and did all kinds of stuff. We still want to go back and do more creative stuff like that, and that's why we're building this cooking studio and stuff. And I would have people at my old house. We'd bring people in, and we'd shoot content for an afternoon. And again, it would just go back to Barbecue League, is where we put all the content out there. But again, like I said, we had some really great entertaining content that we did.
Let me hit Michelle. I just sent Michelle a text, but let me hit. I don't have a lot of comments on Instagram, but let me get our good friend Jason Pierrigan was on. He was mentioning, as we were talking about how's everybody's weather. He said it was moist here at Peregrine Paradise. He said he's ready for the jack. He also said Joey saved our fire for our hog at the cause last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then Rum Runners Barbecue said Joey is a good dude and loved watching him grow. So that's kind of neat.
Should have just had a call with him.
And Rum Runners also said, this obviously going back to the World Food, which you guys touched on as well, that Orange Beach is the best venue, well, at least for him. And then Jason also said he did a demo on one of the Weber Pellet Grills at Denver Q Fest. They're awesome units. So that brings me up to date on Instagram, which is kind of neat that a lot of people are on Instagram. Thank you for signing on to Instagram because we've only been on there for I've only been on there for 3 weeks. Huh?
Yeah.
I need to learn how to use that one.
It's, you know what? It's with the StreamYard, it's harder because they're not fully linked together. You have to get the stream code. So it's like the Instagram. So right now what I have is I'm
having to pay a millennial.
Well, see, because I'm kind of watching on I went on the computer, but I'm watching. I also have Wanamaker's Barbecue and Smoke Supply on Instagram as well as it's all at the barbecue. So I'm on my Wanamaker page watching the show on Instagram so I can kind of see where there's comments. It's not as easy as pulling it up on the computer, but it's kind of a pain because you got to keep going back and forth between the two. So let's see what else we got.
All right, so Joey, where are we seeing you next?
So we have a few things coming up. One of the things is going to be Al Fragoni is going to have his meet up in Hondo, Texas, coming up October 26th. That thing has turned into a monster. So his live fire event that he has there is actually started out as being a bunch of just influencers getting together, and we had a big cross that we did a whole steer on, and then we had a bunch of pigs going, and it was just like whatever, and it was just a bunch of people who came together. Over the years, it's grown. I'm sorry.
I got to bring Brandon out to one of those. He missed the one.
Oh, you need to. It's incredible. Now this one is going to be crazy because we're in a text chain right now on WhatsApp, and I think there's 93 people in this chain right now. And so as we know of right now, there was like 15 teams. Now there's going to be, I have no idea what's going to happen. So previously what it was it would be each team had an opportunity to cook something different, whether it was a protein or whatever. And then it was a little bit of a people's choice type of thing and, all this other deal. But you have guys that are like, of course, Al, but you'll have Jeremy Yoder from Meat Scientist. You'll have Matt Gork from, if anybody follows TikTok and watches food TikTok, don't know who Matt Gork is. You're going to have, Mel, Dark Side of the Grill. You're going to have.
I love him. He's so fun.
Yeah, you're going to have Blazing Star. You're going to have TFTI. You're going to have, it is endless who else coming. And now there's all these international TikTok and YouTubers and stuff like that coming in. I actually think that they're bringing in, I think Little Caden's coming. I think they've got Little Gringa's going to be there. Now they're bringing in all these kids that have done some of these shows. Al's wonderful guy. And it just, everybody goes like, hey, can I come? And he's like, sure, come on. The only thing is, I think there's like 2 hotels in Hondo. Everybody's going to have to stay in San Antonio, but it's going to be well worth it. We had such a blast last year. Last year I had a good friend of mine who's on Instagram, Cooking with Zandage. She's out of New Jersey. I had a good friend of mine, Vic, who's out of Laredo, Texas, Uncle Vic's Barbecue. And I had Cosmo down there with me last year. So this year we're cooking, collabing with Cosmos Q. We're going to be shooting a bunch of content down there this year. We should have Dustin Green with Weber coming down to cook with us a little bit. We're waiting to hear back from our good friend Randy Pauly, who is the executive chef for Buc-ee's. So we're trying to get him to come down and cook with us. And then I'll have some of the group from Cosmos there. And my very, very good friend Tung Nguyen from New Orleans, chef from New Orleans. He'll be down there with us. And We're supposed to cook seafood, but I think we're going to cook turkey. Now that my daughter's on turkey and it's fixing to be turkey season, and it's a great opportunity for us right now to shoot a bunch of turkey content.
Deer around Memphis because I about hit a lot of them.
Oh, I know. But I think we're going to take the opportunity and do some content directly for Cosmos Q. It's turkey time, so the turkey brines and all that type of stuff. Cos has been a very, very, very good friend of mine for years. He's actually this past couple years he's been shooting content with Texas Original. I told him he wanted to do it. I told him keep it on the down low. I said I don't need to. I said I can't afford you. Again, he's been a solid guy for years. And like I said, not that I don't get along with everybody else. He just happens to be one of the guys that, we pick up the phone and talk to each other. And, but he is such a great guy. And, so I wind up doing a lot of things for friends. And like I said, this particular event's going to be awesome. After that, we have this event that's going to be out in West Texas. It's called the West Texas Barbecue Bash, which is a oil field cook-off. But what's happening on this deal is it's a huge event. They have music. It's almost like a Memphis in May, but it's straight barbecue. And what happens is down in our area, it's totally inundated in West Texas by huge oil companies.
Yeah.
So what happens is now it's all these oil field companies enter teams, and now what they started to do is now they're hiring all these comp cooks. So
it's like Houston 2.0.
Exactly. So it's pretty much the same deal. So now what they do is the teams go in there and they entertain customers, and then they're bringing in some ringer cooks to go and cook for them so they can get walk that stage. Oh, there you go. So I have like four or five of my ambassadors are actually going to go down there. They have one that's in South Texas as well that I kind of sponsored with them because I actually have an oil field background. I was involved in it in quite a while. I have lots of friends in the industry. And so it's a little close to my heart, type of deal. And anyway, so we do that and they raise money for some good causes. So we have that event coming up. We have San Antonio Rodeo coming up around the corner. We have our CBA finals, which will be down here in Seguin, Texas, my hometown. I'm sorry?
Is that all in 2024?
No, so that goes into 25. Okay. So that'll be our new year. And then Houston Rodeo jumps in there.
February.
Right. So, and then after that, excuse me, I've been fighting a cough for like 3 weeks.
We call it allergies.
Yeah, I know. And right now everything's blooming. And but after that, I don't know. We're gonna try to figure out what we're gonna put on schedule. We definitely have a Royal, on the books. We're trying to figure that one out right now. Who all's going? Who all's not going? We've got, my good friend Ira Green. He's going to be at Jack, so I'm contemplating going down there to go support him this year. I didn't go last year because I didn't have a dog in the hunt. I didn't have any of my guys down there. But like I said, super proud. Ira's been cooking he's been cooking for a long time, and he usually once it gets hot, he doesn't cook anymore. It ends his year. And this year he pushed through, and that he just couldn't get away from getting the grands. And so he just kept cooking and cooking and cooking, and wound up with 7. So like I said, he's had the opportunity to go cook many times at the Jack with someone, but never on his own merit. And so he was super happy. I think the only other big one that ever went to is I took him to Memphis in May one year when we cooked with Kendall. When I had Cosmo there with us, and so that year, and I had Paul Shoddy, who we lost several years ago.
You were there the last year we were on the river.
Yeah, that was the year that Ty won Wild Game. That was my son won Wild Game there that year. Yep. And so anyways, but like I said, it just we have, I try to include my people in as much stuff as possible. And if there's an opportunity for me to go out and support them, I will. We're hoping that once we get our house and everything else done, we're going to start having some invitationals down there, and start bringing in, just our good friends from all over the place and figure out how to make it worth everybody's while. It's so expensive to do anything these days. And I kind of, I have some of these guys who cook 12 contests a year. I have some of these guys who cook 40 contests a year, and honestly, I don't know how half of them do it. I think I maxed out at like 27, 28 contests one year. And that was like it.
Brandon, with Miles being young, for us to do, it's hard for us to do 10 because he's in school. When he was younger, it was so much easier. He was portable. He came with us, but now, last year he competed at the American Rural and got second place in burger in his age group, and we got a nasty letter from the school for his attendance because he took too many days off to go to the Rural.
Oh, that's when my son was cooking all the time. He never went to school on Fridays. But
they won't excuse it, but they appreciate me for not lying.
Yep. But the ag kids can take off as much time as they want to go show animals everywhere. And, but it's school function. But now, luckily, we have barbecue in high schools and, middle schools. I'm going
to go to the school board and offer to teach club classes.
Yeah.
I think they should learn barbecue. And I mean,
it's not just barbecue; it's a skill set. Like the kitchen.
What is a skill? It's how to cook. A lot of these kids nowadays they don't even know how to cook.
Even if it's just teaching them ancillary stuff. There's a big need here where we're at. I've had people saying, "I will pay for a cooking class if you teach my kid how to bake or teach my kid to cook." Things like that. Nobody's going to teach that, and they were asking for this at the elementary school level. Not the middle, not the high. They want to teach.
We're starting to see more and more of that kind of coming back, like the building trades and electrical trades and all that type of stuff. We used to live out in kind of West Texas or kind of out there in a little town called Hereford, Texas, which some people call it the cattle capital of the world. So there's more animals raised and slaughtered there than anywhere else in the United States. And so when we were there, they actually had a program at the high school that they taught the kids how to butcher. And they had a whole butcher facility there, but you had a Cargill butcher plant there. You had, it was circled by all these processing plants there. So the kids would leave there and go straight to work, but it's kind of one of those deals that I'm happy to see these. And down in Laredo, Texas now, they're bringing back they're doing a butchering program down there in some of the Laredo high schools now. And I hope to see it more, half the kids don't know where the food comes from anyway.
No, it's teach them. Hey, I'm going to die laughing right here. We're going back to the comments because I know we're getting late and we can hang out all night long, but I'm dying laughing at Daddy Dutch Barbecue. Damn, this has to be the best show yet. No, Ryan.
See, what did I tell you? What did I tell you? He's gone. He's out. Oh, I wanted to he's got another one up here.
Oh, he's got like 5 others that are epic.
Well, he's got Daddy Dutch Barbecue, Holy Texas Barbecue, Charcoal Royalty. Joey, I need some of your charcoal in Iowa.
Let's do it.
Archoa. You meant Archoa.
Yeah. Can
Not
win
Aricha.
with me. Yeah.
And if Rob can win with it, yes, everybody can win with it because we love Rob Ochoa.
And he was asking seriously if there's any dealers in the Iowa area. I want to put it in my hand first of all, because I know Joey and I have been talking since before he was
Inception.
Original. Yep. Yeah. When it was still a secret.
And then also next to the thing, Michelle tell the school he's working on his culinary arts degree. I've been working on that for 2 years. I still want to be the first Texas original charcoal dealer in the Chicago area. So
let's put that conversation on because, like I said, we're poised to do that now. In Iowa right now, I do not have a retailer. I thought that we were working on a bigger conglomerate that was going to be able to take this into all these regions. So I had kind of held back on pushing it, and then after a year and a half of conversations, they came back and go, well, we decided that we just want to do a private label. So will you just do a private label for us? And actually, after wasting a year and a half over it, I said no. And because basically what they wanted to do is package my same product in their bag and then sell it. I was thinking about doing it when they were going to let me put Made by Texas Original Charcoal Company. And then they said, no, we didn't want to do that. And I was like, no, then I'm out. But anyways, but yes, you get me a retailer that you think would fit, and I would do everything I can to do it. And it's honest, it's crazy because I've actually, and this is like, I shouldn't even tell anybody this, I've actually lost money to get charcoal out to regions, to work with dealers, like, eat the cost on a first shipment or something like that, just to get it into the market and see if the market can support it, right? Once it gets out there and people start to burn it, then we'll figure it out later on down the line. But, again, I'm a smaller dealer. I'm not, or manufacturer rather, I'm not putting out hundreds of, trucks a year out of charcoal. We're getting to that point, but over time, the more that we put out, the better it gets for everyone else. And this is a product that's mine. It's dear to my heart. It's not going anywhere. You may see some branding changes later, which aren't going to be super drastic, but there's just going to be some small changes that we're going to make that is going to diversify the brand a little bit. But like I said, it's nothing else is going to change on the thing. Is, we just may be losing a circle or something like that, and changing the font. But other than that, like I said, the product's going to remain the same. There's a reason why I don't have glossy bags. There's a reason that I don't have flashy stuff. It's because I don't want to spend my money there. I want to spend my money on the fuel. The fuel that I put in my bags costs me more money to put that fuel in the bags. The way that we fill our lump bags right now is we fill them mechanically 2/3 of the way. And then I have someone manually putting in 4-inch or better pieces to fill the bag. So that's how we handle our product. Every time that you open a bag, there's always going to be big pieces on top. We try to get every bit of shake out of that bag before it goes in. We don't have anything smaller than a 1-inch piece in that bag. So I stay on top of this. I get my guys, my ambassadors, whenever there's an issue with a product, they call me, and I can call the plant and make sure that we get it corrected. Because again, like I said, it bugs me. I open bags all the time and burn them. And mainly because I want to make sure that we're getting the right product. I don't even open the bags right. I flip them upside down and I open them bottom side first, and that's what I use first as the bottom.
That makes sense,
and
public.
Exactly. And that's the thing is I do have that. My briquettes that we make are a good, solid, hard briquette. I tell people you're going to have to look extremely hard to find a broken briquette in that bag. Most of the bags are all intact. They're smooth. They look great. They're dense. They are not they're not flat. They're almost round, but they are in a square shape. And we did that on purpose. I didn't want to put initial on there. I didn't want to put a ridge in there. I wanted to have just a nice, super smooth briquette that would have plenty of airspace between there all by itself. And again, I mean, like I said, I mean, quality is number one thing for me. And then after that, like I said, is if you're not happy, I'm not happy,
Right.
and that's it. Mm-hmm.
My next questions are, do you have any expansion ideas for pallets and wood?
So, yes. So I currently work with a good friend of mine who has Butler Wood Products. So you can actually buy my charcoal on his website, and he'll ship it out to you. Definitely not the cheapest way to do it, but I was selling the product on BBQguys.com, and basically it's the same price as what it was on BBQguys.com. When we pulled the pits, I told them to take everything off. So we ducked out of that market and BBQ Guys, just because, again, I'd love to be there, but it was not doing me huge. I could put it on Amazon and do, Prime next day or whatever for the same price as what they were, basically trying to retail it for. And I wasn't very happy with that. So again, like I said, Butler Woods, he will ship you product. He will also ship you boxed wood. So he's got really, really nice kiln dried wood. We try to push that product. There are plans to bring in more than likely wood chunks, or chips and chunks, one of the two. It's going to be a Mexico product. I have the option of doing a U.S. product, and we have a product option of doing a Mexico product. If I do a U.S. product, it's going to be co-branded with Butler Wood. If I do a Mexico product, it'll be 100% Texas original. And then on the pellet side, I would love to say yes, but the thing is there's been some companies changed hands over the last couple years. Who one of them was one that I probably would have done a pellet program with, but now everyone's doing the pellet program with them. So it's a super hard market. You have guys who are already doing a great job already. I don't think that we need to go in there and confuse the market. Weber's actually packaging a pellet right now that's a great pellet, and it's probably as good as you're going to get. I've burned a few bags of their stuff, and it's very, very reminiscent of a lot of stuff that I've had my hands on before, and which I thought was probably the number one pellet in the world. And but again, like I said, is I'd love to, but you still have that customer that's going to go into Walmart and go buy, a 40-pound bag of pellets for, what is it now? $14. I think
19 at Academy, but I'll tell you this. I tell everybody that talks to us, me and Brandon specifically, about creating rubs and charcoals and all this crap.
Mm-hmm.
Your target market is not barbecue teams.
No.
Your target market is the people that are doing it at their home. And you got to keep it affordable for them, and they're going to ask and they're going to follow the TikTokers and the brand influencers.
Correct.
What's actually working, but you're not trying to sell this crap to your barbecue teams. So
no.
It's not gonna
well, you have
no matter what. But I do
as a retailer to answer that, Michelle, as a retailer to answer that. I learned that a long time ago because I thought it was great to get barbecue teams, but then then you finally realize that barbecue teams are a business, and then they become it. And so right as it should be, as anybody runs a business, it's their cheap as a mile is long, because the more money they spend on stuff is it eats into their winnings, or if they don't win, it eats into their.
We're competing in the Murfreesboro next weekend, and we're doing our first whole hog as a team as our own name. We're doing hog, pork, and ribs, so I have extra expenses in addition to meat and ingredients. And stuff like that.
I'm going to tell you one thing. As far as pellets go, so Barbecuer's Delight, for me, number one pellet. So that was the pellet that we private labeled for B&B. So that's the same pellet.
Which one?
Barbecuer's Delight.
Okay.
So
is that what they call Champions thing now?
I don't know exactly what's all transpired because I haven't talked to her in forever. But she wound up making pellets for quite a few other brands that might be in that Duraflame line right now. So it's all kind of the same product. The Pit Boss product that was out there, it's okay, but I wouldn't leave it in my pit, put it that way. There are some products that are very good. The one that Weber's got right now is, I don't know, but I would almost say that it's that same product coming out of Barbecuer's Delight. It's a very high quality, high pressure, big, bigger diameter. So I haven't seen all the whole blends. They got me some Smokehouse blend that is like super neutral. It played well with everything. I think I cooked every protein on it, and it was really nice. But that's kind of the thing is you have, RecTech has gone direct now. Has gone to dealers now. Yeah. So you have RecTech, who everyone wanted to sell RecTech. Now they're going to dealers. You've got Green Mountain. I love Jason. He's got his great product out there. We've got Traeger who's out there that, Traeger says you use any other pellet in this machine, it's going to void your warranty, type of thing.
Now you and all them.
Yeah, you got the smaller guys, you got the bigger guys. It's going to be a preference thing. Again, you're going to have some people who want the quality. These guys are trying to drive into you brand loyalty. Green Egg guys love Green Egg charcoal. Your Traeger guys, they buy Traeger pellets. And there was only a handful of guys out there who were like, oh yeah, just burn whatever you want in mine. But they're going that direction. So like I said, I don't feel like if you're not attached to a brand, I don't think that it's worth getting into the pellet market right now because you're going to have a hard time. That's my opinion.
Just get a generic blend and it cooks your dinner.
Well, correct. I mean, and Joey's right. I mean, it started, Traeger, when I started with Traeger 11 years ago, selling to Traegers, we had a different brand and nobody would buy it just because of that scare they did, which is a bad thing to do.
Soon as you open the lid.
Yeah. As soon as I switched over to Traeger, it's, the Traeger pellets, all of a sudden my pellet business, jumped by 100%, because everybody was back into it. But Weber does make some great pellets. They got some great products. Weber has really upped their game in the last 5 or 6 years. And, I think people should take another look at them. I know for a long time, they were thought of as their dad's grill and they were out of the world as far as a barbecue, but they're really making an effort to try and get back into what modern barbecuing is what's going on with the social medias and even the barbecue teams such as yourself and stuff like that. So they're trying to get back in touch with the barbecue world instead of just the backyard. I think Joey's water's running out and his coughing.
It's starting to kick up.
We can do one last question. I know we're like 30 minutes over, but Joey, Dutch Barbecue. Joey, any shipping available? And when you have anything to purchase at the Royal?
Yes and yes. So I will be at the Royal. I will have product there. We're going to be in our same spot, which is, I can't remember. We're just right outside of OBR. Before you take your first right going into going towards where Robert Rocha does his little party thing down there. We're
near the track.
Yeah. So I mean, you have to pass us to get in unless you're an OBR, and so we'll be set up right there. We may or may not have Cosmos Q. We may send Cosmos Q's down to Rob's spot where he is further down the line, but we'll be there under Chingon Barbecue. But like I said, we'll make our presence known. We will have charcoal and probably wood there as well. We'll bring up some Butler wood product with us. Anybody who's going to the Royal and wants to make sure they do have product, reach out to me directly, and I'll make sure that we get it down there. If we get enough response on this deal, I'll ship some down early. Because I'm not planning. I'll probably take about 3 pallets down there, and that's about it. But like I said, we'll kind of figure it out. I've got some international teams who've already reached out to me, who want product there. All my ambassadors who will be there, I told them just, I'll have it there. Don't worry about it. But like I said, we hope that, we'll see a lot of people there. And, the Jack, if I go, we will not take product. We honor what they do at the Jack. Like I said, if I'm not a brand who's not supposed to be there, I'm not taking product there. I'm only going to go support my guys, and that's it. Yeah. And then, like I said, it's most of the majors will have someone there. We're going to make a big effort this year to try to fulfill more people. Like I said, I just got a good LTL company that works with me extremely well. And, we've got down, pallet prices right now to ship, are varying anywhere from $125 to about $175 for a single pallet, sometimes a little bit over. When we get to 2 pallets and 3 pallets, it gets a little bit better. But I do programs for teams. If they want team pricing, I have team pricing. You can bundle this up with, a couple guys can go in there together and buy product direct if they want to. But like I said, you're still going to be buying pretty much what you're going to be able to go and buy from Steve. So at the end of the day, with freight and everything else, we try to push dealers. We have a slogan that we put on our little hashtag on a lot of our shirts that says support your local dealer. And because that's our biggest thing is, if you're in a situation that there is absolutely no one around you that can't buy, that you can't buy the product from, then we'll make those arrangements. But if there is a retailer or a retailer who could potentially come into this situation, I want to sell to him and give you the opportunity to give him your business, because he relies on every single customer who walks through that door, not to buy just that one little bottle of seasoning you came after. You're supposed to walk out with like 10 items. So, that's kind of the deal is the reason I started my whole company is because I wanted to keep my products out of big box stores. That's it. I not that I dislike big box stores. I dislike what big box stores does to the market. Because again, I don't like seeing 4 stores within 4 blocks that have the price anywhere from $10 to $25. I think it needs to be a level playing field, and we work too hard to put our product together to give it away, and they have to keep their lights on. So that's what it's about.
Yep.
Well, Joey, I think that's about, well, Daddy Dutch said he's not going to drive to Chicago. It's just so you know, I don't have it yet. Joey and I've started this out a long time ago when he was first starting out. Freight costs were too much to supply me, but I think now he's gotten to a point where I think we're this close to making it work, because I've been watching it for the last couple of years here, and I'm really excited. And I really want it in the store, but Joey, we're going to let you go so you can
thank you very much
off, and thank you very much for coming on. Your wife
would appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, I know. She can turn the TV back on. We're secluded in like a 1-bedroom little apartment now.
Watch the football game.
Well, anyways, but no, I've enjoyed it a bunch, and like I said, anytime, let us know. I also have some great guys down here who would love to bend your ear a little bit, and we've got some great stories and stuff like that. But like I said, just keep in mind, we're a little guy trying to make it in a big world, and like I said, we're trying not to get too far ahead of ourselves, and we know our boundaries, and like I said, we're going to do the best we can to help everybody who wants our help.
Well, Joey, I've been chasing you for a hot minute. Whenever you were at B&B, and then through Fogo and Blue Hog, and now I've appreciated all the guidance you've given me, support you've given me, to help me grow in what I do. So I love you.
I appreciate it, and I really appreciate y'all. Love y'all, and like I said, we hope we'll get to see everybody here pretty quick.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I hate to say I'm one of the Joey followers. I know he's talked about the people that follow Joey, but he started me with we had other stuff. We talked at the A show. It was the first time I met him, and brought B&B in. And then when he switched over to Blues Hog, I followed him over to Blues Hog.
Correct.
And so trust me, everybody, it's not the products, it's the person. So
it is the person.
And he's not bashing, but just from a small retailer, everything that he just said is everything that a small retailer wants to hear. They want, even if it's in a big box, we want a level playing field. He wants to support the little guy, and understands. I don't, when you come into Wanamaker's, I don't require that you buy 10 things, but I like everybody to at least buy 3. That's always my thing. You got to buy 3 things before you walk out the door. You know what I mean? It's figured it's 3 at least pays the bill. So
exactly.
Joey, thanks again for coming on. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for extending over. You are now the longest. You do hold a record here on Thursday Night Barbecue Chat. You are the longest talking guest. Brooke and Brad went to, I think, an hour and 27 minutes. You are at an hour and 38 minutes. So
love it. That was my only goal.
So, all right. Thanks for coming on. And again,
if you're
ever in the Chicago area, stop in the store, and we'll get something together, and we'll actually maybe have you cook or something. But
if you need anything,
we'd love to do it. We'll do. We'll talk soon. Like I said, I got to get a Texas team in there this year, so we'll figure it out.
Holler at me.
Thanks, Joey.
All right. We'll see y'all later. Y'all have a good one.
Yep.
Bye.
Nope. Got Joey out if I can get him out.
I told you that would not be boring.
Whew. Boy, like lickety split, an hour and 40 minutes just flies by.
Well, when you said Joey Machado was going to be the guest, I was like, not a problem.
Daddy Dutch is my new friend, because he said great show, Ryan or no Ryan.
I've never met this fella, but hey, Danny, it's nice. Daddy Dutch, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah. So, and again, thank you all from watching on Instagram. Sorry, the comments don't come as quickly to be read on TV, only because, like I said, I got to flip flop between 2 screens. I tried watching it on my phone.
You didn't have any downtime this time, Joey.
Yeah, no, Joey was. I mean, he was hot right out of the gate. This was a show I just loved watching.
Joey talked a lot. No, he talked a lot. So this is one of those ones I think a lot of people learned about his charcoal product, different charcoal products, cooking tables, fire tables, alfragoni, all the things. I think this was a very diverse conversation.
Griddles and Vittles. We didn't buy anything because you weren't there. I will be there tomorrow. So just know if you're passing through, I'll be there tomorrow. And speaking of,
you know what I made for dinner tonight? Philly cheesesteaks on a griddle.
I just have a salad. I'm on a salad thing. I love a good
salad.
I
came home from Sam's and that was the menu today. So I was like, I want that for dinner. It tasted good.
So a couple things we got to do. Griddles and Vittles, they're talking about they're going to be coming into town Saturday, 8:00, American Legion in Yorkville, the griddle battle. That is Ryan's baby. And I really do. I bash Ryan a lot, but I do have to say, I think the griddle battle is one of the coolest things out there. I think it's a great competition. I applaud him for starting something like this, because a competition, as we talked about last week with Steak Princess, which actually, who was watching today. We didn't get to read her comment, but she was actually watching today. So God bless her. Thank you very much, Riley, for signing in. It is a great event. Anybody who tries to start a competition knows you get into it. There's a lot more there than you thought. It was a matter of like, hey, I'm just going to get a bunch of people together and we're going to have a competition. So I applaud him for that. It's a neat, fun event. I can't wait to go Saturday. I'm kind of glad that it actually worked. It's the only competition ever that is not on a day I'm working. Every other one always seems to be on a day on my Saturday or weekend that I work. And then thanks to Michelle, which I think is off to this side. I think this side, whatever side it is. I have just this week, I will be at the Shed Showdown. I'm signed up, and I'm not competing. God, please don't think by saying I'm signed up. I am staying at the Cozy Rosie, I believe it's called, and
they fill up fast. So if you plan to go to the Shed,
they fill up fast. Michelle brought it up. Michelle brought it up after last week's show, and she mentioned that there are some cabins and there are some glamping tents, and there are a lot of campsites there, but as Michelle said, get it early. So I talked to Trisha. Trisha says she wants to go, and I said, great, this is fantastic. So we are heading down in January. Hopefully there's no weather, because if there's weather, I'm not going.
You're gonna get there anyway. It's gonna be easier down there than
I will. As I've gotten older, I am not afraid to admit that as I've gotten older, I don't like driving in the snow.
Are you driving? You're not flying.
No, I do not fly. Trisha and I do not fly. Well, she flies more. I have not flown in over 20 years.
I will not share with you my adventure this past year, so you're not scared.
No, you did kind of mention your adventure of driving last time, and Brandon, we won't bring it up so that he doesn't wake up and start cussing. But yeah, I don't fly. I haven't flown in over 20 some years. I don't fly. I drive everywhere. Okay. Which is kind of great because you get to see a lot of things that a lot of people don't see because they're always flying over it. You get to see different restaurants. You get to see
We're going to hope for great weather.
So hopefully there's no weather anywhere. I'm not worried about, obviously, the upper Midwest here because we're used to cold weather.
Y'all know how to de-ice things.
Right. We're used to the cold weather. I love you guys in the South, but
Mississippi does not know how to de-ice anything.
Right. So that would be
Tennessee
my only word.
Is the line. Once you cross Tennessee to Mississippi, they don't know how to do nothing.
Yeah. So anyway, so just so you know, if anybody's interested in that, we will be going to the Shed Showdown. I can't wait. I'm really excited. Texted Brooke that I was all signed up. I am super excited. I hope everybody down there is safe at the Shed because obviously the hurricane. I don't think the hurricane hit them, but I think they got a lot of rain.
They're good. They got a lot of rain. We get a lot of rain here too. It's just left our area. I do want to say plug for the Arlington Barbecue Burnout, Memphis Barbecue Network. We are full at capacity. If you had not already heard that, 62 teams. We have 15 hog, 47 pork, and 58 ribs so far. They have to October 4th to finish their categories. We do also have an SEA contest with 8 ancillaries on Friday night and a steak. So I know it's kind of crazy, but we've been doing this through MBN for a while. We know what we're doing. We handle the schedule. We have a great team of reps from SEA coming to handle this. We are excited about this. So could be a game changer for the points chase people. So we're interested to see how that works for SEA.
And last but not least, next week's show will be, drum roll, Perfect. Sterling Smith from Loot and Booty will be here.
What?
He is going to talk about, and they just came in the store today. I haven't had a chance to post on the Wanamaker page. His 2 new flavors just came out, and I am going to tell you, he has one. I see. I'm gonna say I'm wrong. It's not the one with maple in it. I think it's the spiced rum something. You open that up, it smells like a candy. I am not joking to you. It is the coolest rub. It tastes really good too, but it tastes like a spiced butter rum. That's what it's called, I believe. It smells like a spiced butter rum candy.
Like an alcoholic Werther's Original.
I don't know, but it smells awesome. It is in the store. It is at Wanamaker's. Sterling Smith will be here next week to talk about it and to finalize it all. As Joey said, shop local, shop small. Us in small business, we appreciate every single dollar that walks through the door. And as always, Michelle, thank you for being on the show, as always. And it's always great to follow Ain't It the Life Barbecue. So if you can follow that one, follow It's All About the Barbecue, follow Barbecue Blackstone and Beer. We're on all social media.
All the barbecues.
We're on all media. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on all of them. All of us are. Well, I think all of us are. And as always, be kind and courteous to everybody. I know this time of year, it is one of those special years. It is an election year, and that gets everybody all riled up and all excited. Please remember that everybody is different. Everybody may think something different than everybody else, and God bless this country, the fact that everybody can think whatever the hell they want and enjoy their life, because that's what it's all about. Yep. So with that, please be kind and courteous to everybody, because after all, who would want to be the same? I might want to be like Michelle. I don't want to be like Ryan, but that's a whole different story. So with that, we're going to cut out for tonight, and bye, everybody. You get to do the wave, Michelle. Bye, everybody. Bye. I can't hit the button because I'm waving. Bye, everybody.
I don't know what to hit.